unaware of at times. And that becomes what I say is an inflammation in the body, because it's the last point of cry of the body to say, look, this needs to be addressed. And I think serious diseases and illnesses only come after when inflammation is not being addressed. So I feel that the body first talks to us through its own method. And when we are unable to respond to them, it becomes inflammation. And that inflammation, when it is not addressed, and inflammation is nothing but emotion trapped in various aspects of our existence. And when they are not addressed, that inflammation becomes a cancer, a tumor, and serious illnesses and diseases come through that. And therefore, through the work, when you start clearing, I would not say I go to the symptoms. I don't look at the headache, but I look at why and where is the headache actually residing. Because the headache is not in the head, but maybe it's in the toe. Its response is in terms of the head paining. But what is actually paining in your life is what you need to look at. And so when we go deeper and when you start clearing and when you start looking at, and I am of the opinion that it, when you are looking at inflammation or you're looking at any emotional weight, it has just nothing to do with your lifetime in in this reality, but it is coming across time, space, and if I say you are your own ancestor, it's coming from that lineage too. So it's a combination. And also, how do you, firstly, all the inflammation also comes from how do you view yourself? How do you look at your existence? How are you looking at your emotional body, and therefore how are you treating your physical body? So it's a combination. It's not in silos. It's not that if I address this and everything else will take care, or I just don't need to look at it and everything else can work the way it is. It is not. It is a composition of everything coming together, and that is what life is.
I agree. It's a very interesting way to look at it, and it's true because we do know that inflammation is at the root of so many different diseases. They found it to be at the core. But we also, in energy work, have always said, well, these unresolved emotions end up creating imbalances. The imbalances show up as some sort of perhaps physical sign or symptom. And then if we don't listen, it gets worse. And what's interesting about inflammation is it is responsible for so many body breakdowns at so many different levels. It's actually it's actually a very easy to identify vehicle for the body to give us a signal that something isn't right, or for our emotional spiritual body to say, hey, you need to address this. Explain a little bit about some of the signs, maybe, that what we think is, oh, it's my back, it's my shoulder, is actually an emotional issue. What is a sign, or what are some things we may want to look at or look for to be aware of that?
Constant pain in the body, constant headache, fogginess, tiredness, fatigue. Even if you haven't worked, you have slept the whole day, but you are fatigued.
Yeah.
And that fatigue, I feel, is not a physical fatigue, but it is emotional fatigue. It is also the fatigue of tiredness of waiting. And what I have also seen is that it's also the weight that one tends to put on, either increase in the weight or a sudden drop in the weight, are all signs that there is some kind of inflammation in the body. And when I personally work on myself, I look at the lymphatics, because I do know that inflammation can also result because the lymphatics have not been drained. And when I go deeper into understanding what is a lymphatic, I understand it is nothing but my process, undigested, unresolved emotion in the nodes that are no longer being able to be held, and therefore it is becoming inflammation.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. One of the things you've discovered and created is AIR. And we've been very clear on this. This is really potent. It's very powerful. And we may get a little taste of AIR today in the process. I don't know, but I would just tell everyone, don't drive, don't, be doing other things. What is AIR? And I find it interesting that AIR is like air in English, right? So we need air to breathe. We need air to continue this beautiful human experience, or it ends. What is AIR from the standpoint of what you are doing in this body of work, Zeenat?
So when I started getting you can say, guidance in creating this module or the program or the series, it was only through listening into what my clients were common experiences that they were sharing with their physical bodies.
Hmm.
And as I look at air, for me, it's air is something that is most important. It's like you take the first breath and you will take the last breath, and everything happens just in between all of these two breaths. And therefore, when I was told that it has to be alchemy, inflammation, release, I was like, yes, it is air. It is nothing but I am given the in charge of my healing. I'm given the tool to bypass my emotional or my physical or my mental body to heal the aspect of me that is no longer serving me. And therefore, it is, as I look at it, it is a response that I was asked to create for helping the body in its need of the density that it is going through, the volumes, the accumulation of all the emotional charges that it is holding on to. It is about the memories of, maybe it's like overwhelmed memories or made to be silent. All that, the suppression or over functioning, the imbalance of the masculine energy, the imbalance of the feminine energy, everything is coming together. And the body, I just, it's only through my illness, when I was healing through, that I realized that my body is so important. And in my life, this was the only thing that is going to work with me if I need to move forward. And how reckless have I been? How unaligned I was. And that's why for me, the body, the container, is most important. And when I look at any work that I'm doing, is to remove whatever is seated in my organs, whether it is the anger that is sitting in the stomach
Hmm.
or in the intestine, or a pancreas is not functioning because it has holding so much of distress, or the spleen is not feeling or functioning because it is holding on to sadness or
Yes.
grief, or the heart is going through a lot of discomfort. Maybe it is not only yours, it could be mass accumulation also, because we are all energies, and anything that is impacting somewhere in the world impacts us directly. It's not even, no longer are we in the time where we needed to send a pigeon to tell us what's happening in the world. Everything is so spontaneous, and we are biting into, and I say this, Darius, we are biting into so much of information that is also causing inflammation in the body, because you don't need to listen to every interviews that is happening, all the political scenario that's going on. We don't need to bite in so much of information, because that information is also traveling through your physical body. It's resonating with something, and then it's getting hooked up to that. So whether it is the
Yes,
sadness, whether it is anger, whether it is
it's true.
disappointment, whether it is just pure depression, you do not realize, but you're taking on everybody else's depression and hooking it onto your own and making it bigger. So, and I feel that when, as light workers, we are all light workers, whether we like to hear it or not, we all are light workers in different stages of our life. We are also being such high empaths that we don't realize that whatever we are taking into our body, whether it is through our own personal experience or a global experience, where is it going? Where does it get discharged? It's not getting discharged, and it starts accumulating and forming inflammation in the body.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I like what you said about, let's say we watch something troubling and then it sort of stays in our field, and then it can attach to whatever in our field is in resonance with that thing. So if we put out chaos or, oh my gosh, everything, you see people, oh, everything is crazy. And then all of a sudden, like whatever feels crazy or out of balance in another person starts to resonate with that. And then it resonates with something. And then, you've created this big field of crazy or whatever it is. And that's not necessarily helpful to resolution or to bringing calm and changing the body. One of the ways, like we can go through a lot of years of peeling the onion, and I promise we're going to get to some of this. So I just want to give y'all a little update on what it is. One of the things you've done, Zeenat, is go right in and do something called energetic surgery. Now, again, not doctors, we're not offering medical advice. We're not saying do this instead of, a surgery you need. No, I mean, if you need to have something done in your body, do that. But we're looking at like how do you actually make rapid changes to the energetic, ethereal body? And this is where this energy surgery, I believe, comes in. What is energy surgery from your standpoint?
So it is the precision and with intentionally going into the subtle body, into the landscape of the subtle body. And these are not just surface level transmission that will happen, they are deep frequency with intervention that goes beyond. And over the years that I have remembered my
Mm.
role in creation of School of Silence across time space, and it is before I came onto Earth to do my work. I have created School of Silence where work is done on the energy body of the soul. It's basically working at the soul level, and through the medium of light language, I take you into those places or into the School of Silence to work with your physical body and your energy body, and with intention, with complete precision. What we are doing or what happens is it's a sense of rearrangement is done. It's removing, pulling out whatever is not required or at your energy flow. Is to ensure that your chi is flowing. It is not forced. It is not invasive. It is just the field opens through your consent, and it is you are ready, because if you
Yes.
have showed up for this call, or you are for whatever your intention is, the work with the light language becomes the catalyst in delivering those tones, those vibrations, and the codes start speaking to you directly at an intellect, at an inner intelligence, and creates the shift. And that is what all the entire work of the surgery is done with.
Amazing. And we're going to dive in and take some callers. So, everyone, raise your hand. We're going to get started. So, not some people noted your audio was kind of going in and out. And I think it might be the little microphone on your lapel might be hitting your
Ah,
shirt. I don't know if there's a way to,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe move
Okay,
it
okay.
out.
Mhm.
I think it's fine. Yeah. Or no, you don't have to. I don't know
This
if
is
there's,
better.
let's see. Yeah. Say something.
This is better.
No,
Hold on. We've got some people
ese para
unmuted.
abajo con las llaves. Las tenía ahí así.
Hold on a minute. We get so much fun. Hold on, guys. Whoever's unmuted, if y'all could let me see. Yeah, we got all right, sorry, it's not all right. We got
No,
someone
it's
just
all right. It's all right. Can you hear
all
me now?
right. I think it's better. Yeah. So let me
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
All right. So what I want to do is let's take some callers and we're gonna slowly get started. Yeah, it was the mic hitting her
The shirt.
shirt and then it sort of like tunes into that noise. Yeah, I think we've got it right. All right, let me do this. I know a lot of you have been wanting to experience some of this. You got some challenges. If you are dealing with inflammation or something that you feel is deeper somewhere else, let us know where you're at. Let us also know maybe what level it's at right now, if it's at like an 8 or a 9. And then we're gonna begin some of this energy work with Zeenat, and then we're gonna go forward today. So let me see what we've got. Now we had Lene who raised her hand early on, amazingly. Lene, you're live with us here. I know I've been saying we'll get to you. So here we are. What's happening, my dear?
Hi there. Okay, so I'm traveling at the moment, so I'm away from home,
Okay.
and I've picked up Oh, I'm not sure what it is, but it's the left lower quadrant of the abdomen, which has been just giving me a lot of trouble. And then it spreads up into the into the top right of the abdomen. Just a lot of discomfort, a lot of just stress causing stuff because I don't know what's going on.
So what they are telling me is to just do the healing work on the entire area. And what I'm also seeing is also latent anger. Mukule ilare mari ukura palarakata, puralare yalari mi ukulurukuta. Amulira. And there is a certain amount of guilt. The word guilt is coming very strongly. Maliki unamati salapi namakai ruku. Anti tamkan tamakati piki tu uturuku topuku namakata piki. Amakata pakati piki utuluruku tumuku tululuku tapakata piki tumakata anatarakata palarakata. So just giving yourself the permission and also giving yourself the permission to release, let go of disappointment. Kanikola ita hasharakarata. Parakimate otaliyanami alarakata. And the stress and the distress that comes through. Kalamalale alapurari tamitapeshalali kutululu nakarakata. Imikala raka husamala rakatanata. So just scan your body and just tell me what is the number right now that you're experiencing?
Linnea, okay, she's back.
Probably around a 6. It has been up to a 9 on some days, but it's probably sitting at a 6 right now.
So when it is sitting, now we've got to be very aware of our words, because words is nothing but spells. It's creating what it requires to create. So this sitting, which will then aggravate, will you give yourself the permission to release and let this go now?
Yes, I do.
Mukata, and wherever there is this known, unknown, conscious, unconscious resistance and the need to hold on to it, the word they show me is the need to hold on to it for whatever purpose that could be serving you, knowingly, unknowingly, consciously, unconsciously. Will you give yourself the permission to release that too?
Yes, I do.
And wherever it is that holding on to it gives you a power, the word comes as power. Will you give yourself the permission to release that too?
Yes, I do.
Amiyetele yu yanakata payetu yechipilari kitu yudun yanakata pakatu pe yudulu yudaikete. Akuta yita namakata pe yudulu rukutu yudurukutu lurukuta rakata. Sadi ita lara nikiti yutu rukutu parakata pakete yatana meketa larakata. Aki ki ku numukutu pukutu rukutu pukutu rukutu pukutu rukutu rukuta nakatarata. And wherever you feel unsafe, Hashaki Urutunukut, and wherever this is working as a layer of protection, known, unknown, conscious, unconscious, will you give yourself the permission to release it, destroy it, and uncreate it all too?
Yes, I do.
Anike atale anu mukuto ilape atara katape yata iselere katara to piko tulurukuta makatala rakata. Now just take a deep breath in and out. Tata yatelere ki udurukuta no katalari yatelere ki pi uru yatelere inur katala rakata. And breathing it out. Ha he say udurukuta na katarata. Haki urukutu no kuturukutu. And all distortion, all disturbance, wherever that is, will you give yourself the permission to release that too? Kurumukutu
Yes, I do.
Itu yana makata piyu to luruku to payana kitu piya to suru yu luru si lara kata nakata akara kata para kata piki to luruku to puku to luruku to muku to ri repeat anaku to ruku tanata. Gentle breath in and out. Ta hasayu to ruyadana. Asta hisayu runimi yana mahanta. Rakata pakata larakata sara yara kata larakata pakata larakata rakata makata larakata anuku to luruku to pakata larakata rakata palarakata rakata pakata luruku to makata iti tiri kitiri. Gentle breath in and out. Have some water if it is close by and tell me how you're feeling now.
Linnea, I just sent you a mute request. There's a little background noise. How are you feeling?
Oh, my temperature just shot through the roof. So I think I did a release of a whole lot. Yeah, feeling much lighter.
God bless you. God bless you.
Yes. Thank you.
Where are you at right now? You were I think at an 8, is there a change? What are you feeling now?
I think it's about a 2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And where was this exactly in your body? You said your lower abdomen?
Yeah, lower left, and then moving up into the sort of top right quadrant. And it's just both are just, phew.
Wow.
There's no tweaking in the lower left. It's been tweaking for days. There's no tweaking there.
It had been going on for days and now it's
Oh,
gone.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
sending you big love. That is amazing. And Zeenat, this is going to continue, I think, to open up for her. Is
Yep.
there anything you saw or anything you sensed as you were doing this? Or do we need to get into what was behind it? Or I'm just wondering if there's any information that you were getting as you were doing that amazing transmission.
So as the words were coming through and I was speaking it to her in English, those were the areas that are blocking or rather are
Yeah.
holding. And there's a lot of sadness. So I'm sure through the work, there
Mhm.
will be a passage of uh, the word that they give me is the passage of right. Now, whatever that
Yeah.
is, show up for her in the coming days. And the sadness and disappointment actually is very acute. So I send you a lot of love, my love. God bless you. And thank you for
Wow.
being here and being open to receiving this.
Thank you. And you see, it's not just the discomfort, it's what's behind that that's
Yeah.
important, right? The emotion. And what has real promise with this is as people release this, how many other areas of their life will open up because these emotions lock us down in so many ways, not just, oh, I'm feeling a feeling. It's also we're feeling it in our bank account. We're feeling it in our relationships. We're feeling it in, the world when we go out and we want to maybe be in our truth or be feeling safe or be feeling connected. It's everywhere. It pervades our experience. That's what's so exciting about what you're doing. It's not just about the thing. It's a whole new timeline. I want to talk to you about that because you said the inflammation could be the doorway to a new timeline. Explain that really quick, and then I want to go to Anushka, who's our next guest here. Anushka, yep, iPhone user. So tell me about the timelines.
So what I have, it shows me because it is just not today, this moment, because everything is now and nothing is now. It's so crazy at times to be in that kind of a timeline. I see that everything is in one singularity. There is
Mm-hmm.
no polarity to it, which means that what you may have experienced in some other timeline, in some other dimension, if I have to say, or in some other gateway, or in some other star gateway you have experienced, and you have come to in this timeline, you bring that along with you, whether it is the rejection, whether it is abandonment, because the purpose of you of re-coming back again and again is to resolve that. But we and the family that we select and the people we interact is always reminding us what needs to be healed, but we are so we make ourselves so powerless. We don't realize that we are beings of light, because the word human is actually the beings that we are experiencing in this physical body, and our only purpose is when I'm in school of silence, when people are doing, or when we are working on the energy or working on the soul level, what it is doing is that when you come to earth again, when you visit earth again, whatever had to be resolved becomes more clear in this timeline for you to release it, because that's how it is working for us. And when you come here, you first do is you forget. It's like
Yes.
people saying, man, you're God, but you forgot. I just love this line and I use it quite often. It is that we've forgotten why we came here, and with the suppression and so much of doubt, so much of judgment, criticism,
Yes.
inner critic, where is that energy going? So the timeline that we have come for to work on is forgotten. And we bring so much work. We bring, like, we've come with a task, we've come with homeworks to do and clear and resolve. But what we do is here is that we multiply whatever we are given. So we haven't looked at our existing work, but we've created new work. So it just becomes more and more complex.
Ooh, it's like layers and layers and layers
Yes.
building. Yeah. And that's interesting. That is so interesting. And, as we were talking about, metal and conductivity in the pre-call, rust, it's like adding layers and layers and layers over the shiny metal. And, if it was underneath gold or it was silver, you may look at it and say, oh, that, my life is so messed up. I don't have a chance. There's no way I can have a better life or live without discomfort. But that silver, that gold, that beautiful, pure state is under that. Once we
Yes.
start working on what really is important, those other layers can start to fall away. So this is just huge. And I think really, really important here for the new timeline is to get to these underlying things that are now showing up in the body. So we're going to go to another caller, Anishka. How are you, Anishka? What is going on? You're caller number 2 today on this very special call with Zeenat. What's happening?
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Darius. Hello,
Oh, I love
Zeenat.
to see you. I love your background too. We got some cool background people showing up. Nice.
Thank you. You have a cool one too.
Oh, thanks. Zanat
Um,
inspired me, so she's my inspiration.
yes, 2 weeks ago I lost my job, and the day after I had a knee operation,
Oh gosh.
and
Sorry.
and it's my knee is swelling from inflammation, and my ankle too, the same leg, the right leg, and I feel it is connected with the swelling is connected with losing the job. And there's lots of stress in my body. I can feel that, and also anger and disappointment, and also a little bit of grief, and it's all connected to the loss of the job, because it was so unexpected and dishonorable that it happened. And yes, that is what is going on right now.
So if you look at the right, it's the movement. The leg is the movement. And Mukulalea purahi ke mutea santal ki punikuta. Kiki kute pulea tish lerekita. So while you were speaking, what I picked up more than anger was injustice. And
Mm-hmm.
and that injustice is what is giving rise to the and resistance in moving forward. Parakashe umana isaki uli aki muri. So just scan your body and just tell me, all on all, how you feeling as on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 I am feeling nothing, it's okay, I'm fantastic, awesome, and 10 I am in I'm in huge depression, or whatever the name comes to. What is that number for you?
I think it's definitely an 8 or more for
So
the
this
moment.
8 and more, whatever it is that you're holding on into in the movement, in moving forward, and the curricula hamtarakata, the knee itself is like, if you look at the way the knee is structured, it is holding on to something, like it's holding on to something.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do not get that movement, that is where the inflammation starts taking place. And the knee holds lubrication, that is, it has all the juices, if I have to say. So
Mm-hmm.
wherever it has been drained out of that, the sadness that drained it out, the emotional upheaval that drained it out, and that is the one of the reason why the healing is not happening as would one like to be. An ankle is a place where you store anger. So because of the injustice, the anger that is stored in your ankle, will you give yourself the permission to release that now?
Yes.
And most importantly for you is trusting. It
Yeah.
may sound that it is, how can I trust with all this falling apart? It's exactly when you're supposed to trust.
Okay.
That's a huge point, Zeenat. That is so true. Wow.
It's trust because it's so amazing, Darius, that we trust the opposite to be the reality because we are trusting, right? We are trusting that
Yes.
nothing good is going to happen. So it's not about that we don't trust. We trust, but what is this that you want to trust? Where do you want to put all your bucks in? Which kind of trust do you want to be? Because we
Mm.
are trusting every time. Every moment of our existence, we are trusting. We are trusting that there will be oxygen coming in, and we trust that there is going to be carbon dioxide out of our body. But what are we trusting in this moment? In this upheaval that has happened, are we trusting that no, nobody is going to lift me up, and that will be your reality? Or are you going to trust that no matter what happens, it is for me to trust and know that I will be getting a resolution? Because resolution is there. It's not that it is not there. Perhaps you had to, perhaps this is an idea for you to explore something that you always wanted to explore, but you didn't want to. Perhaps. Because or rather, when I quit my corporate job, I lost my identity. I didn't know who I was going to be. I was head of marketing. I had no clue what I'm going to be doing. But the trust that I have now fallen into this abyss, there's only way is to climb up. There is no other way. And there will be people, the intention when you trust that the universe is going to take care, because see, it's very easy for every one of us to be the light workers, also to have the energy that says, oh, nothing is working. For instance, that political scenario is the one major place where we all say nothing is going to happen to us and we are all going to be doomed because we are trusting, and imagine it's mass consciousness. It is going to be a doom. It's going to be nothing else but the doom. But when you are going to look at it and say, yes, I know this has happened, the injustice has happened. So you have to trace back and see where the injustice began for you. This is just a point of view that is being shown to you, that is coming through your leg, it's coming through your ankle, but the injustice is a bigger picture, or the bigger core work that you need to look at.
Mhm.
And I don't know you, Anushka, but I have the sense that you were to be doing something else, and which you have prolonged or not the word procrastination, there's nothing like procrastination, but did not have the muscle or the trust to do it. So perhaps we
Uh-huh.
never know.
Yes, I want to start my own healing business, but yes, I
The
There you
didn't.
go.
box, there you go.
I do it, but I do it for free, and I didn't start asking money for it, and so I didn't
Mm.
start
If you
building.
see, what you're doing is you're not honoring your body. You are bringing
Mm.
in the energy. You are and this is for all the healers out there. When you don't trust yourself, when you don't honor yourself, and you do things with saying, I will not charge because how can I charge? So please look at the energy of guilt and the energy of judgment, because that is the thing that does not allow you to ask for
Mhm.
money. Because if nowhere, and this is a misconception, and thank you for asking that or saying it or mentioning it, it's a misconception that every healer has, that I must
Mm.
not ask for money, and
Mm.
money has been treated as an evil. Now,
Mhm.
it's so not, it is goddess, it's a goddess energy, and how can goddess be wrong? So you need to look at those aspects of, and that's why the inflammation, because it is about moving forward. Your leg is significant, or a
Mm.
symptom that it is saying that there is this resistance, there is this pull and push happening with you, which is not only limited to your right side. You also have to see, because historically we understand man needs to give the money to the woman. So there is a change in that it's going to come, and I can see you smiling on that.
Yes.
So the imbalance is
Mhm.
also holding, resisting, because you are going to bring in the shift, and it is going to keep itself contained in that swelling. so that you don't move, because then I can't move, right?
Hmm.
Immobility. So wherever that immobility is, whether it is in your thoughts, whether it is in your action, whether it's in your physicality, emotional and mental, will you give yourself the permission to release it, destroy it, and uncreate it?
Yes.
And wherever it is, you feel like, oh, this is so nice, so hopeful. But in the mind, it is somewhere something else that is going on. Wherever that is, will you give yourself the permission to release that now?
Yes.
Kumakata ay tikutulu rukutupu kutulu rukutapakata pakata larakata pakata parakata parakata rukutulu rukutu rukutu rukutulu rukutu larakata larakata arakata pakata larakata parakata larakatu nukutulu rukutu pakata likitu nikata pakata yikitu rukutulu rukutu makata larakata karakata rakata pakata larakata rakatu rukutulu rukutu rukutu pakata larakata inikata pakata ita sata nikatu rukutulu rukutu rukutanakata isata hataraku nahana kataraku nahana katarakuta imikitu ukutulu rukutu mahara katapakata larakata inikatu larakata nata. So gentle, gentle breath in and out. And so all resistance. So there is a lot of work that is happening in your right and left side of the brain. It's like redesigning, it's like rewiring, and wherever there is that fear of that, because the mind does not know what it is going to be like. So giving yourself the permission to relax yourself before you take any action. Kina kata larakata ikuto hana isma kata ish kata rakata burkuta pa ikata aka inako alaka para hata mukuto aparaka tipiki itipiki to umukuto parikete pikita larakata parikete 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 nakatarata. So gentle, gentle breath in and out. Ha sahita, ha sahita, ha sahita nakata. Tell me how you're feeling and where is the number? Has it come down?
Yes, it's more like a 4 now.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
And
God bless
I
you.
could feel lots of change in my throat and in my heart.
God
And
bless.
yes, movements in my head, but I felt like a change in my throat and my heart.
Because you have to ask, my dear.
Okay. Yes,
Ask.
yes, that is difficult.
Yeah, because that's what it is. You have to bring in the balance of the right and the left. The money comes when you ask. Energy of abundance comes through when you are asking. So trust that when you ask, because there could be disappointments of the past where asking led to saying, hearing no, and and being told that you must never ask. So so it is engraved in your heart center. It is engraved in your solar plexus, and I see it is lot of it in your sacral area. Asking, there's a lot of
Yes.
point of views basically. God bless you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you,
Thank you very
Anushka.
much. Thank you, both of you.
God bless
Thank you. Yeah, it sounds like it cut in half and it's probably still moving. And, we're going to see it come down more and more for her. And that's a big challenge. And so we send her love, but it's also a big opportunity. And what's amazing is it's the exact opportunity that now is, if she takes it, moving her to live her soul truth, which is what we said, that this inflammation has a purpose. These feelings have something behind them that's part of our new timeline. And we just saw this unfold before our eyes. Is anyone else amazed at how accurate these have been and also how the numbers are declining in what people are feeling, right? It's amazing. So what we're going to do, we have a group process for everyone we're going to do in a moment. Everyone's going to get to experience it, except a few people. If you're listening to us on Facebook or YouTube or X, I'm going to cut the live stream. The people on Zoom, of course, you're going to get everything because you're here with us. But what we're going to do is we are going to post a link in the description of this video that you're seeing maybe on YouTube, and then you can find the full 1.5 hour session